This beautiful vintage wedding dress and veil set was donated to me by a follower. It was worn by her mother, Diana, for her wedding to her dad, Bart, May 19th in 1973 in Detroit, Michigan. It has with it this beautiful Spanish style, very tall, dramatic headpiece veil, which I absolutely love. I guess Diana was about 5'2" and Bart was about 6'3". So Diana's future mother-in-law suggested that she get a tall headpiece veil to kind of make up the difference in their heights. The dress has a beautiful long train and is layers and layers and yards of lace. It had some general yellowing overall, and there was some dirt at the hem, which is very common with these from the reception, and a few tears that needed to be mended. I guess Bart stepped on her train at one point. So I also decided to remove that had an inner layer of net that had almost completely torn away from the inside of the waist. So I did remove that to make it less full with washing, and a crinoline could be worn underneath. So I'm going to start with my general go-to for starting on these dresses with retro wash, a little bit of Dawn, and some washing soda. And I'm going to do this in the bath. There's quite a bit of volume with this dress. So in she goes. She hasn't seen, well, I don't think she's ever seen water. I don't think this was ever washed. So it takes a little while to get it all into the water in the soapy solution. So just slowly working it in. I'm pretty confident with this lace, even though you do have to be gentle with these lace dresses because they are prone to tearing. But I let it soak for an hour, and you should see the water at the end of this soak. There is quite a bit of dirt on that hem, as mentioned. So my go-to for that is using a soft brush and then Fels naphtha. It wasn't working immediately, so I had to keep working on it. And look at that water. So I drained that water, and then I did another round with rinsing, and then I did a wanting to do the cleaning to remove the yellowing with Retro Clean. So I did 1 cup of the powder. You dissolve that in hot water. And then I did the hottest tap water that we are set at with our water heater, which got me to around 120 degrees. So then I added that dissolved solution to the bath water. And actually, yes, here I'm at a starting temperature of about 121. Covering with bubble wrap and then my mesh rack on top with additional glass plates to kind of keep it submerged. I did some temperature checking throughout the 4 hours just out of curiosity to see how well the temperature would hold. I would have liked it to have been higher, but I didn't use an immersion circulator or anything. I just wanted to be able to do it straight up in the bathtub. So after 4 hours, I felt it was sufficient. There's some more yellow water, which I'm always happy to see. And then on to more rinsing. And these poor lace dresses, when they're wet, they look so bedraggled and sad and limp, but I'm not concerned because I know we'll get there at the end. So now to wash up the Retro Clean, doing a round of Retro Wash. There's still some areas on the hem that needed a bit more work, so then my go-to for that is a solution of Peroxide and Dawn. I brush that on and then sprinkle on baking soda, and I let that sit for an hour and rinsed it off, and I was satisfied with how much better that looked. To get the extra moisture out, I did a towel roll, and then I put it on a tall table outside to let it air dry. Look at that little rice from the wedding. So I don't normally remove metal hooks because I don't typically have any issues with rust, but I did in this case. So since I had already washed the dress and had gone through all that and I was ready to keep moving on, I used this product, Whink Rust Remover. Now you're going to want to wear gloves with this and stand there while you're working with it because it works quickly. So as soon as it was done doing its thing, I rinsed it and used a little bit of Dawn to wash it off, and that worked great. So there was pretty substantial hole, so that I did repair on that, and it's much better. And I sewed the buttons back on to the sleeves, and here's just a bit of appreciation for that veil. And now here it is. It's not a dramatic before and after because it is just such a dramatic dress anyway, but it definitely did brighten up, and it's closer to its original color. It's cleaner. I'm so in love with this dress. I love the absolute romantic quality of it. Those sleeves, the layers and layers of lace ruffles, and that headpiece veil is just incredible. I think this is a truly special dress, and I'm so glad it was saved. And it is ready once again and ready for another walk down the aisle 52 years later.